Ladies and gentlemen, dun, 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 of course, CEO to CEO. There is no other brother than this brother right here that has made culture not a word that's used when you want to be famous or popular, but lives in his truth of creating a dynamic, intellectual, inspiring, both for the family, but for future generations to be able to see a trail, words, prose, economic platforms. I am pleased to hang out with my brother today. There's nothing else other than seeing a father, a husband who is dedicated to the love, to our ancestors, to fathers who love us as long as they can, and then love us enough to make us want to give all that we got and give more than we got. What's going on, man?
Listen, brother, it's as you say, man, come on, man, it's an honor. I mean, seriously, like to sit down and chit chat with you, man. I continue to look up to you as a mentor. So to have this space to just vibe with you, man, you're honoring me by honoring me in this space and giving me this opportunity. I appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm missing y'all, but you know, y'all be doing big things, man. I got to get my social cookies up. My weight ain't quite up on the I'm like, I need to be, bro. Hold on. If you can't talk about your deficiencies, you can't talk about your pain. Like, you know, as men, I could tell my brother, I was hurt, man. That hurt my feelings. He's like, you need to like check that. I'm your guy. You know,
how can
no,
we?
I'm just sharing. I gotta tell you. So no, I'm not good at social yet. I'm growing in that area, but not very fast. And I actually am writing a children's book right now, and I gotta figure out how to share that with you. But we're here to talk about the launch of this phenomenal new CEO. Obviously, you and are the brother, but I just want to kick it with you. We had talked about it, shared about it. Obviously, I thought about you because I'm in Detroit today, and I'm, working to get my mom's family home. Since my father passed, back online and not selling Granny's house or my dad's house. So, I'm over there renovating, but at the same time, I understand the loss that you've suffered and, moving a new plane, and that's not easy. So brothers are doing that, and you launching this business. Tell me where the idea for this business, say the name of the business so everybody knows how to at least begin to follow and go spend some money and recycle this multi-trillion dollar budget that we have as a community with each other, be proud of the artisans that you're supporting. Can you kind of give us a brief location on what's happening and where you're moving with this cultural, economic, progressive movement that you have going on?
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And sending you love, man. You already know I know how it is to lose a father. So just sending you love and comfort and joy and peace in this moment and taking that energy and carrying it forth, Flourish is the company. Flourish is the premier marketplace to shop and discover Black-owned brands. And it's Flourish spelled with a Y, FLOURYSH. Now, the issue is, well, the solution and the joy is that we love to support Black-owned brands, right? The problem is we don't know where to find them. It's word of mouth, it's scouring Instagram, it's clicking through links on websites, which we've had for a long time, and we appreciate that support. There's never been a dedicated space that's simplified, that's elegant, that's beautiful, in an e-commerce marketplace where you could just go and look at some beautiful Black brands and just search and shop and learn about the brands and have stories on the founders and have editorial about what's going on in the fashion space, just kind of this conglomerate, this space where there's fashion, there's storytelling, there's commerce, there's pancake mix, there's shoelaces. Imagine your dream coming true where you wake up, your bed sheets are Black owned, your robe is Black owned, you get up in the shower, the products that you use, Black owned brands, right? You brush your teeth, Black owned toothbrush, Black owned toothpaste, you put on your garments, Black owned clothes. Like imagine you step in your living room, Black art everywhere. Like imagine being immersed in this experience, this expressive, that's a part of our culture where we can all participate on every level. So it's something that I've always dreamed of. I never thought that I would see it in my lifetime. I knew that, between Black Panther coming out and that energy that you felt, right? Like people showing up to the theaters and you know, African regalia and garb, and really kind of embracing their culture and embracing who we are. You know, it felt like a moment, and we were concerned, is this going to be something that a bubble that busts as it has in the past? You know, is there sustainability to this energy? And you know, there is. I think we've all kind of come to a place culturally where we're like, you know, we understand who we are, we understand what this is, and we understand the opportunities that we have, and the power that we have. So, I mean, collectively, we came up with this idea, my team and I, and it's been nothing but, since its launch on MLK Day, it's been nothing but love. You know, we've been building this thing underground for almost 2 years, and for it to surface and to be received in the way that it's been received, for people to understand that this is about community, for them to feel that love right on day one, on the launch, for them to be able to scour the website and send me text messages and hit my phone and hit my DMs and my emails. Yo, this is beautiful, man. I didn't know you were doing this. This is incredible. That's why I do it. That's why we do it. And, you know, we're just excited. We're excited to take this train and continue to build it and scale it, and just onboard more brands, more incredible black owned brands from a diverse, you know, diverse categories, right? Like, again, it's not just apparel, it's not just fashion. We have everything. Imagine every touch point in your life being Black. That's what the goal is.
And the moon. I mean, you know, a collection of moon rocks and stardust and intellectual capacity
Yeah.
that'll be there on display, and the whole creative voice to look at innovation, production, design, which is so important to how we look and see and feel about ourselves, when our children know that these are the inventors and the designers of, you know, your today.
Yeah. And we're telling those stories. You know, that's the important component to it, right? Like, it's one thing not to know that these brands exist. I mean, I can scour the internet, and every day I'll find 20, 30, 50 Black brands that I never heard of that are actually incredible, right? They're doing numbers, they're amazing. They may or may not be where they want to be, but they're on the road to that path, right? Or on the path to that destination. So the discovery element is limitless. And a lot of their stories aren't being told. Some of these folks got their heads down and they're just doing the work, right? But we take joy in telling these founders' stories and their narratives, because I mean, a lot of times these stories come from real life, authentic places. You know, somebody's father, they passed of cancer, and or the you know, one of the young lady's husband, he passed of cancer, and before he passed, you know, she created a product, a moisturizing product that could actually hold the moisture that holds to his skin that was scaly and very wrinkly and uncomfortable and itchy. And none of the products that the hospital was offering, you know, did any justice. So she created a product for her husband that some of the other, you know, some of the other patients in the hospital was like, hey, you know, could you pass that around? Which the nurses started asking about, right? Which the hospital started asking about. So she saw that she had a business in this. And a lot of the stories of the founders, they come from real places, right? They come out of a place of necessity and love. And that's who we are, right? We create from places of necessity and love, right? So it's just incredible, man. So many Black folks are entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurial list is growing in our culture. And we're happy to have a space, finally, a dedicated space that is thoughtful and considered. It's not just a list. It's not just, which again, we appreciate the list, right? We appreciate everything that we get, but to have taken time to have this dedicated space that, you know, folks can flourish in is beautiful.
So, in the flourishing of our community, what has been the exciting part for you as the CEO to see the launch? Like, what was launch day like for you? Just knowing that you got it done.
Well, I got it correct. I'm actually creative director and co-founder, which I love the role, right? Like, just from an aesthetic and artistic vantage point, to be able to oversee, direct, and control everything, you know, the look and feel and the vibe and the energy. You know, already know that's my groove, especially in this space. Launch day was incredible, man. You know, we had a virtual launch, obviously due to COVID, kind of like what we're doing here. And we got online on IG Live, we got on Twitter Spaces, and we got on Fanbase. And we spoke with the brands, we spoke with some of the brands that we have onboarded. We had some celebrity friends pop up and show love, and some shoppers and some storytellers, and just, the community. We all kind of sat down and just had an engaging conversation. And what was really unique is that this is a virtual space, right? Like, what's stopping me from feeling that energy is this computer in front of me, right? Like that phone in front of you. You don't really get that connection, but we did. We got that connection in a virtual space. And some of the feedback that we were getting is like, yo, this feels like community. This feels like family. We had, one brand speaking to another brand. We had Hill Harper come in and say, yo, I want that product on my show. Let's talk offline. It was just this ecosystem, right? That we've created intentionally, that was showing up in these spaces, these small little spaces that where we launched. And that was just kind of telling of what's to come, right? It's how it is to build something underground, right? Like, how it is to have your head down and build. And when that thing surfaces, and all of the intention and all of the love that you put into it, when it's received in that way, it makes every, lonely evening, long evening that turns into mornings of not resting, right? Like those moments, right? Far and few between, right? Because we do take care of ourselves. We believe in wellness. We believe in taking naps. This ain't hustle culture. Hustle culture is dead. But there are some times where you make that sacrifice and you might be up past your bedtime. My son Miles is, for instance, might want my attention. My daughter Ava, they may be going down on the river walk and they want to kick it or going, and I can't engage. But when the reason why we make those sacrifices, when that's appreciated and felt, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that, man. There's nothing like the love being felt that you're delivering, right? It's hard for people to receive, but yo, shower it on us. Shower that love on us. We're taking it all. We're taking it all because we give it right back. We pour it right back into the machine.
So for those who aren't certain of the quality of Black made product, that are still the doubters that the ice might be colder, or it might cost you 20 cents or $5 more. What are they missing when that's the rationale on how they treat their people, about why they spend an extra 10, 20, or $100 on somebody that looks like them, who's just working to live their dream to create a great example for all of us? What's happening there?
Man, we drank the Kool-Aid a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, we think when a certain logo is resting upon your breastplate, that makes you somehow similar to, I guess, that European designer in some way. There's that equity that's extracted when you place that garment on yourself and you feel a little bit, I'm not Black, I'm OJ. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel a little bit of that energy, and I think it's a lot of those notions are beginning to be dismantled. Like, you got Generation Z, Generation Alpha, like these folks, they're turning a lot of those notions on their head. A lot of the guidelines that I came up under, that a lot of those ways are dying. So I believe that we believe in us. I don't think that maybe where the challenge might lie is those folks who grew up in a different generation, my generation and above, who might question the quality or, the customer service, but we're great at that. Like, it's proven. There's so many businesses that are, these 30-year-old multimillionaires, right? Incredible customer service, these entrepreneurs, beautiful product, right? Everything matches. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're beyond that point. And the ice ain't colder, yo. Like, if you start to peek behind the curtains, you're gonna see that we're the creators of all this stuff anyway, right? Like, we're the ones building these machines and providing the equity and the value in these companies. So whatever's front facing is often the Wizard of Oz. It's like it's a mirage. It's not the real deal. We're cut from the cloth. Like, trace our origins back. You know, like look at the textile work in Nigeria and in Ghana. Like look at the beautiful garments and the amazing colors that drip from those clothing. You know, like their inspiration is all around them, the wildlife and you know, the flourishing flowers and it's beautiful there, right? And that inspiration is into it shows up in the art, it shows up in the work. We're creative, we're beautiful people. That's what we come from. We come from kings and queens, right? Like our capabilities are beyond. So I think the question has been answered a long time ago. I think we're finally starting to drink, put the Kool-Aid away and drink the what are we drinking? We're drinking the healthy water now. You know what I'm saying? The black water, the black owned water now. It's different.
Yeah. And I was really obviously, and you got it, but I was just saying, as a CEO, we're all moving to have an experience where we love each other enough to give even more, and to not
Yeah.
make those
Yeah.
excuses that I got a notebook, but you know, you could just buy one more.
Yeah.
You know, many of us say we're spiritual, but we have to be spiritual with our dollars, and we've got to be spiritual with how we share our dollars with each other. So that's more of for me what I'm proud about with you and obviously your co-founder Steve, my other brother, is the fact that you know it's a voice, and you guys are pushing, continue to push the limit, continue to leverage this culture. You know, the voice that you're giving individuals in an economic voice, and to me, it's that black metaverse, that black economic metaverse that you're
Hmm.
tapping into, to give people faith and rise that there's somebody and a collective belief that we're there. You're designing this mentality. How important is it to design your mind? Because that's what you do as a artist, at least to me. Aesthetically, I'm always inspired when I see you. Why is it important for us to design our minds with art, and why does design play such a role as we move forward? If you share with those who, you know, even CEOs are not necessarily interested or thinking how important designing our minds are.
Oh man, what a beautiful way you put that. It's everything, right? Like the external informs the internal a lot of times, right? And design is storytelling. You know, it's saying something. It's an energy. It inspires us. It moves us in ways. It motivates us. It encourages us. So you can't control a lot of external forces, right? You take a look outside, man, there's a lot going on. You know, if you were to internalize all of what's going on outside, you're rotten inside, you're depressed, it's dark, it's dreary, it's impossible, right? But designing your mind, for me, that's like, you know, what am I feeding myself? What am I feeding myself in order for everybody else to eat, right? What is my morning routine like? How am I spending my time intentionally? You know, who are the people that are around me? What information am I taking in? What am I watching on YouTube? Is it mindless? Am I being fed? You know, I tend to look at everything in the same way, like, you know, like food consumption, right? Like, what are you putting into yourself, right? That's literally how you're going to feel. You are what you eat. And design is the same way, right? Like you are what you consume. So it's vital to take control of what you can control. And that's your mind. And your mind is going to inform everything. Your mind is how you see the world, right? How you see the world is how you see people, right? Like it informs everything. It's a cyclic kind of experience. And I think a lot of people miss that. We turn on whatever, you know, we do whatever just is initially, you know, like electrifying to our minds, like, oh, let me do this, let me do this, and then it's just all these distractions, right? And that stuff gets inside of you, and slowly that informs how you move. That controls it. That controls exactly who you are. Television, you know, programming, like, you know, like it's right in front of you. You know, like the stuff is it's telling you what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's important. It's important we take inventory of what music we listen to, you know, like how we feel when we listen to certain songs, right? Like, what is this rhythm doing to me? You know, like this is all design. This art in my place, man. My place is decorated in Black art, and everything has an emotion attached to it, right? Every time I look at some of these pieces, it's designing me. It's a part of my design. So when I step outside, I got that stuff already. It's in me, so it's going to drip out of me as well. It's going to ooze on to the next person's hands I shake, and conversations I have, and engagement that I have with people. So, you know, design is everything. It's not just about aesthetics and pretty pictures, and you know, it's it's spiritual, man. It's informative, and it really dictates who you are.
As a CEO, why have you written books, and what has that journey given you?
Man, that was like my first endeavor, you know, and I think the beautiful element about writing is, you know, it requires all of you. You can't cheat the paper. You can't cheat if you're on Microsoft Word, you can't cheat the document, right? Like, you got to be honest, especially if your writing is for public consumption. Nobody's going to connect to what you write if you don't connect to it. You're not going to connect to it unless you're being honest, right? And it's it's a space that you get to pause, and you just get to pour. So as we talked about design, and how, you know, design it informs how we move, right? The external things determine how we move internally, and how we think and believe, right? Where does that information go? How do you know you are who you are, and how you are, and where you want to go, if you don't record it, if you don't put it down? You know, we just kind of move in this life, because life is what? It's this flow. It's this consistent flow, right? The presence is a flow. When people say stay present, they're not saying just stay in like, you know, arrest yourself in time, right? Like, a lot of us are either future minded, or we're so focused on the future that we're not in this moment. We're so dwelling on the past, and that's where bitterness resides, right? That's where unforgiveness is. That's where like regret lies. But when you're present in this motion, this flow, you know, like, it's important to record those moments. It's important to know where you were, and, you know, what you thought, and take that inventory. So writing is that for me. It's this beautiful opportunity to know myself. It's this beautiful opportunity for me to empathize with you, right? To be able to connect with others, and it informs and helps really all of my movements in life, right? Writing is something that a lot of people think is, you know, requires skill or talent, or, you know, yeah, you can hone your craft, but writing is such a natural thing. It's communicating in the same way that I'm not thinking about what I'm saying now, and writing is the same process. You just dump ideas, you dump thoughts, you get that stuff up out of you. Some things fester in you, even dreams, they can die inside of you, right? And it hurts. Get that stuff up out of you. Write, record. It doesn't have to be for public consumption. It could be for yourself. You don't have to read it, but I promise that clearing, right? That purging of data and intake that you receive on a daily, all that stuff is recorded in you. What are you doing with it? Are you passing it on? Are you giving people the jewels? Are you serving others with the information? What are you doing? Get it up out of you. I think we all have books in us, right? That's another conversation, but you know, in St. Miles, we have a writer's house at our creative agency, if you are a writer, and we teach those things. But writing and is a part of storytelling, and that storytelling is a part of why we are who we are, and how we know who we are, our history, right? And I'm a writer at heart, man. I'm an author at heart, and I encourage everybody to give it a shot.
Well, let's look at this as a shot here. Flourish is a virtual marketplace in this metaverse on Planet Flourish. What does Planet Flourish look like, and what's the requirement for those who come and visit in order to stay and understand the value and the spiritual principles of Planet Flourish?
It's a baptism, man. It's a baptism in Black. You know what I mean? It's the feeling of Black Panther. It's the feel. It encapsulates those moments, and it's real. right? This isn't an ideal, it's actualized. You know, this isn't a thought, it's a destination. And the requirement is simple, man. Like, you know, you gotta, if you're in that space, you know, like love is certainly a part of the equation, right? Like you gotta love it, right? You gotta love it. And if you question it, you will love it upon visitation, because you're gonna see the genius that we are, right? You're gonna look, man, like we have a part of Flourish called Flourish 5, where we have a 5-minute interview with every single brand that is onboarded, right? So we kind of get to know their story, know the founders, know the heart of it. I mean, I have a different relationship with these aren't just brands and product to me. Like these are people who make sacrifices. These are people who want to improve this metaverse. They want to improve this physical world as well, right? And they extend themselves, and they put themselves in position to learn what they need to know to give this product to us, right? These are gifts. You know, this is a world that I've never seen exist, but it's always existed in my head. And now it's real. It's really happening. So the requirement off top is love. You know, what comes with love? Support. You know, we're not begging anybody, because the products speak for themselves. The products sell themselves. There's a standard to get on Flourish, right? You know, like you gotta meet the standard. You know, we're not gatekeeping. We're not keeping people out. Accessibility is the answer. You know, like this isn't the inaccessible luxury. This is a new luxury. This is accessibility. We welcome you. And, you know, part of what I love about Flourish is we also help you, right? We help brands. We prepare them for the marketplace, right? So that all those standards are met. So they're not out here looking crazy. You know, they're from just their product shots, you know what I mean, to their copy, to just their communication and their customer service. Like we make sure that they're good before they hop on board. So, you know, I love the fact that there's this diverse assortment of brands and product offerings, and a lot for us to learn about ourselves. You know, my son could hop on Flourish and just be enamored. It's like, wow, like we did this. He already knows what time it is, because we've been purchasing black. We've been buying black everything, all black everything. But now he can truly, and he was asking me about Flourish the other day, because I mean, he had, you know, there's all these businesses, we like Bereola Group, St. Miles, Flourish. And he was trying to understand it. He wanted to wear one of the little F with us buttons. And I was explaining it to him, and he thinks it's beautiful. You know, he thinks that Black people converging is beautiful. And we get to do that virtually. You know, it's a community. It's not just about commerce. You know, we're storytelling, we're supporting, there's an ecosystem. You know, we pay our storytellers, we help scale these brands by providing them, you know, you need to know about e-commerce. We got e-commerce experts. We have a Slack channel with every single brand in the Slack channel, our trademark attorney in the Slack channel, you know, our PR in the Slack channel. You need PR, you need product shots, it's a community, and we're trading ideas, and people are coming up, you know, where there was two brands speaking to each other, like, oh my gosh, I love your brand. Like, you know, I want to do something, you know, a little collab for Valentine's Day. They're getting together and they're doing something for Valentine's Day. You know, it's beautiful, man. It's like, it's manifested. Like this idea that we had is here. It's happening in real time. And it's so effortless. It's organic. We're not pushing any buttons. Like these things are naturally happening. And it's beautiful, because one thing, you know, I'll say about this is when we execute events, and Flourish will be having live events as well. But when we executed events in the past, something that that struck me was the audience, right? There's the event that's taking place, this person on stage speaking, or, you know, this person doing whatever, but there was this crowd that would gather organically, right? And it was like, oftentimes people who would never be in rooms together, but they just meshed together so well, and deals were being made, and relationships were happening, and babies were being born, whatever was happening in that crowd, it was something special in this gumbo. And I always pay attention, like, yo, there's something, I want to be in, let me get off the stage and go in the audience. Sometimes I would leave my seat and go kick it with them, because it was something special happening. That same audience follows it, they've migrated to Flourish, that community. So what's happening now in this virtual space, so that support and that love and that gumbo is being spread all across. And it's incredible to see, man. It's one thing to have an idea, you know, and for there to be theory, and there's another thing, like theory and application are two different things. So to see our theory applied in real time and have it actualized is beautiful.
Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Go to Flourish today, hanging out with the co-founder, CEO,
Creative director.
creative director. He says that, but you know, they be putting that. Now they be
What are names anyway?
sharing
We
power,
just get the work done.
designing vision, creative director. So proud of you, brother.
Thank
and
you
all
so
that you
much.
continue to give to us so that we can feel better about what we don't know, because you make it so easy to embrace what you create. I'm Untitled C. This is my.
See, I can't let you go without letting you know, and I know you ain't going, you trying to give it back, but I just got to tell you and tell the people, man, thank you. You know, thank you tremendously because, you know, like you're a pillar specifically in our community, but also to me. And you always make sure that I'm good. You always support in real life, not just for the sake of support, but because I do dope-ish. Right? But you're willing to let me know that, and you have no idea what that does for me, right? Like for you to say what I'm doing is dope, or you appreciate it coming from who you are and what you've done and the experiences that you've had and what you've contributed and how you serve, you have no idea how much I need to hear that. So thank you.
Thank you, brother. And I receive it. I got it. And I'm gonna hang out here with you. Obviously, give my best to your queen, and I don't have to tell you to love your kids, but I know just hug them a little closer because I won't be able to hug them anytime soon, given what we're in. But I know that you're a loving father and a doting husband that worships and cherishes his wife and his family. So to all those out there, this is Munson Steve, and you've been watching CEO to CEO. Go to Flourish today and show some love to those creatives that are getting a shot, because these brothers have an idea that we can and we do create evidence of our genius right here. Flourish. Planets flourish for all y'all who believe. I'm Munson Steve.